Hello again, part 4 of the best and the worst and what I learned in 2021 and what's going to be new for 2022. So I stopped with the brassicas last time, and I'm going to start with herbs this time. I have to grow more herbs is what I found out, particularly the small-leaved basil. I don't know what the right name for that is, but it has little tiny leaves, and I love that kind of basil. Sage, I need more sage. I learned how to eat and use sage this year. We take sage leaves and fry them in butter. There's nothing like it. And then you add chicken to it. It's amazing. So I need more sage. I need rosemary, chives, thyme, oregano, parsley, dill. I grew all of those. Dill, I still haven't figured that one out. It doesn't grow well for me. I think it gets eaten. I think the caterpillars eat it. So I'd have to grow a lot to actually get something, which I'm going to try. And I might try a different kind. So that's something I want to get better at. Because this year I made, last year I did too, but this year I made more, and it was better this year because I learned that you have to put a whole lot of herbs in, is I made herb salt, which I love, and I wanted to make enough to be able to give as gifts, but I realized the way I'm going through it, I don't have enough to give for gifts. And I thought I made it a lot, but it wasn't enough. So that's something, that's why one of the reasons I want to grow more herbs is so that I can make more herb salt. Also herb butter, I made herb butter and froze it. I have a little bit left. Once again, I thought I had made enough to give as gifts, and it wasn't as much as I thought. So I definitely want to be growing more herbs and make more of that stuff for in the winter. It's such a treat, especially the herb butter with the fresh herbs in it. So I'm going to be growing more of those. I also want to try some new herbs this year. I want to do tarragon, chervil, Chinese chives, which I have seeds of. I haven't done anything with those. Lemon verbena, which I've had before, but I'd like to grow more of that because it's great to add in when I make the herb salt for a lemon taste in it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, herb-wise, that I would want to try. I mean, I'm sure I will see something, but at this point I can't think of any. So, yes. And I'll tell you about my idea for 2022 about growing more of those then. And then celery. I don't know if you know that you can take the end of a celery when you've chopped it down to where you want to use it to. You can slice a little bit off the end, and you can plant it, and it grows. And it's pretty awesome because when you grow celery from seed, it takes a long time, and it grows pretty quickly from those. Now, nutritionally, I don't know if that changes the value at all, but so I grew some like that where I cut off the bottom, and I grew some from seed. The seed ones did really well. In fact, there's some out there. I think they just got killed by the frost. But once again, I didn't use them right. See, when you grow it yourself, you don't have to chop the whole stalk off together. You can just chop off little, the little shoot, each stalk, however many you need, at a time. And I'm learning that that's how you can do it. So it's been a learning experience for sure. I also need to find out if you can freeze that. Like if you could, I'm not sure about that. And then garlic. Garlic I grew the year before last year. Had a little patch. I actually made that bigger this year. And I got a good garlic harvest this year. It was really exciting. And it's mostly storing well. I should pay more attention to varieties because I think there are some varieties, I know there are some varieties that store longer and better. But it's been such a treat. It's so delicious and it's so exciting to get all that garlic that's your own and not from China, which I noticed that garlic I was buying was coming from China. why would I buy garlic from China when I can grow it? Anyway. And cucumbers. They didn't do great at all. There was something attacking the vines. And I would miss them. I'd go out and I thought I looked, and then the next day I'd be out there and there's like a cucumber this big, which they're no good when they're that big. But we did get enough. My son made refrigerator pickles, and they were pretty good. So I might just do a vine. Nobody really likes them just as cucumbers. They don't really agree with me. They don't agree with my husband, and I don't think my kids really like them. So I probably won't take up much space with those. I might just do it just for the fun of it, like a vine or two. I didn't have that many vines though, and they still, I don't know. I wasn't impressed. But anyway, that's I think I covered all of the stuff mostly that I grew this past year. And overall, it was an exciting gardening year. It was really exciting. Taking that bland, useless piece of land and turning it into something that you can grow food in. I mean, it was amazing. I was never into vegetable gardening, but it was an amazing experience, and I'm excited to learn more and grow more. And starting seeds of things that you can eat and watching them grow, and then actually being able to eat them. I learned so much about different methods, and I'm learning so much more. And there really is something special about eating something that you've grown yourself, especially if you've grown it from seed. It's just, I don't know, it's special. And I'd say overall, the wins would outweigh the losses. There were some losses for sure, and I definitely learned from them and hopefully can do better this year. And I know there'll be losses every year. It's just the way it is. It's the way life is. But I really was pleased with how everything went this year overall. And it's one of the most rewarding things I ever did. So it was worth it. Now, for the new ventures for 2022, some new ideas. The one that I'm most excited about is a permaculture orchard. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with that term permaculture. It's kind of flying around out there. But what it is instead of let's say an apple orchard, where it's just apple trees. You've seen these. And then it's just grass. They're planted in in rows or in their whatever. Instead of doing that, you actually plant a variety of fruit trees and nut trees and possibly other trees. And then also fruit bushes, such as raspberries and rhubarb and currant bushes and blackberries. And then perennials, and you plant them all together. And they help each other. First of all, it attracts all kinds of pollinators and birds. These insects, so you get the good insects eating the bad insects, which are always going to come. Also, the harmful insects get a little confused because they can't just hop from apple tree to apple tree because there's so many other things in there that it messes them up a little bit. And because you're growing all those different things, and part of it is growing plants that give nitrogen to the soil, you're nourishing the soil and making everything grow better. So it's really exciting, and I think it's a genius idea. And my husband, we already ordered a bunch of fruit trees, so I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited about that. And of course, there's going to be trial and error because that's how it goes. But I'm excited about this idea and excited about getting fruit. That'll be exciting. And then another idea, my herb idea for growing more herbs, is on the perimeter, the outside perimeter of the fence going around the vegetable garden. I had thought before about putting flowers out there, and then I decided to not do anything But now I'm coming up with the idea of putting herbs out there, because then I can use them. They'll be pretty. They'll attract pollinators. So that's my idea. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to look at this point, and I may intermix just some flowers in there as well. But that's my idea for growing more herbs to be able to harvest and use. And then the last thing, maybe I should talk about the flowers I have in the vegetable garden. I had sunflowers and tithonia, which are Mexican sunflowers, along the one long side of the vegetable garden. I won't be doing that again. It was very pretty, but they all fell over several times. And I think I could really use that space better for food, specifically the peas I was talking about, where you need to grow so many to get a harvest. I'm going to try to grow a whole bunch along the fence, and we'll see how that goes. So that's my idea for that. And I will probably have a few sunflowers, like maybe in the corners. And the snapdragons are still in there growing, so I'll probably just leave them. Zinnias, I don't think I'm going to bother putting zinnias in there. I had a lot of zinnias in there, and I don't think I need to do that. I'm not sure about that. I may put a few. There may be a few that just volunteer too. We'll see. And then I'm just going to finish up with this one. It's going to be a little bit longer, but the biggest lessons that I learned this year would be grow what you and your family will actually eat, and grow more of it. So that's what I learned for myself. It's good advice. And if you're trying something for novelty, just grow a few. Then you're not taking up all your space with something that you don't really even necessarily like or will use. Another thing I learned that I actually haven't been able to implement a whole lot yet, but I've learned near the end of the season, is called chop and drop, which is a brilliant idea that I learned from British gardener Hugh Richards. So what it is instead of, you have all these dead vines or whatever it is that you were growing at the end of the season, you get them out of there, make it neat and tidy. Well, he says chop them off at the bottom, leave the roots in the ground, which I did start doing that this year. I didn't know that already. But then take the rest of the plant and chop it up. He just puts it in a wheelbarrow and uses his chopper things and chops it into smaller pieces and put it right back on the garden. And then it's feeding the soil. And there's something on the soil to, as a cover as well. Kind of less work because you don't have to haul as much out of the garden. That's a lot of work. So I'm excited about trying that more this year. And I also learned about you don't leave bare soil, which I did not. Like, once the season's done, it's not good to leave your soil just sitting there bare. Either put a cover crop in or put some kind of a mulch on. It's better for the soil. So that's something else I will be trying in 2022. So yeah, this has been an exciting adventure, and I can't wait to continue. I'm so excited about learning more and trying more. And thank you for sharing this with me, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.